Now, let me get back here with Dr. John Toabidi. You know, while we were discussing off camera, I was saying, at what point did medical practice, you know, lose the human face? Lose the human face, where in war-torn countries, in Gaza, in some other places where there is war in Ukraine, you have medical personnel on ground just doing humanitarian job. So why is it difficult to overlook, and I'm particular about the aspect of poverty, because Dr. Aziz said it is the human, that the patient is largely responsible because of who they see, but it's largely because they can't afford it. And so how do we get those who cannot afford, those who are vulnerable, to be attended to?
Well, thanks for that question. The truth is, you know, in life, Americans will put it that you got to do what you got to do. I'm a strong believer of humanitarian services, but when you go to the reality of the situation, things have changed, especially for those of us in the private world. You are entirely on your own. The overhead of running your unit is so high that there's a limit to how much you can step down to say you are doing humanitarian services.
What makes it very high? What are the factors that make it very high?
Well, let me give a typical example of what I do. Most of the things I use, they are not available in this country. Or in Nigeria. I have to buy them from the US, Europe, or Germany, or even Australia. Specifically, we use a lot of micronutrients. Vitamin D, injectable, for example. We don't produce that. Now, with the global economic meltdown and policies that have been set in, you know, the forex, what you call the exchange rate of our naira or the dollar to the naira is so, you know, the disparity is what you cannot even begin to, you know, imagine. As of last week, I made an order from the United States, and I made it $1 to 1,650 naira. Then I bring that product here because someone is not in a position to pay. I render the services free. There is a limit to how much I can render for free. The best I can do, and in medical practice what we do, you charge based on the people's income to a certain extent. Where a poor woman who I know that her income is maybe 50,000 maybe a year, when she comes to me, when I know that vitamin D, one dose alone, is about 50,000. There's no way I will ask her to pay 50,000. Some cases, I will even do it free for her. However, when that guy who is blessed and has more, he comes in, he pays that. So it enables me to be in business. But to declare, you know, the doors, or my doors open, that anybody comes in that cannot afford, I should treat them, you know, free.
It's difficult to do.
Over time, it is not sustainable.